Time. Good morning, everybody. It's 9 o'clock on April 11th, 2024, which is the time and place of the Bismarck Parking Authority's monthly meeting. And I see that we have a quorum present, so we will take up the first item of business, which is to consider the approval of the minutes from our March 14th meeting. Anybody? Oh, we got a Zoomer in here, Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, Commissioner. So we're considering the minutes of the March 14th meeting. Any questions, comments, corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Thank you. The regular agenda starts with a review of the financial statements. Jeremy, is there anything management would like to point out? Or
Mr. Chairman, Authority Board members, through March here, first quarter, we're doing well on target for budget for income and expense side of things. Nothing out of the ordinary to report as far as the expense line items for the month of March. And our reserve balance is currently $1,865,579, combined with checking of $213,658. Our total operating, reserve is $2,079,237.
thank you, Jeremy. Any questions of management about the financials? What are you going to do with all that money, Jeremy?
Well, there's talk of a new ramp in the future,
Make
potentially.
a down payment on a new ramp? Well, that's good. Better to have money in the bank than not,
Yeah.
correct? All right. Any questions? Anybody have anything on the? Then we would entertain a motion to approve the financials.
I'll move to approve.
Second,
Second.
seconded by Kyle. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, we'll call the roll, please.
Jake?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes, that motion carries. Item 3 on the agenda is update on Survey Monkey results. Is Kate going to take that one, or is Jake going to take that one? Kate? Kate from the
Yeah.
Downtowners, welcome.
Actually, I am not going to do it, Chair, authority members.
Okay.
Maria in our office, who's been with us for a year, is going to come up to the podium, try
Excellent.
not to swear, and give you the kind of situation. So Maria works with us at the Downtowners, and she handles a lot of our communications, our social media. She's doing the survey, so be nice. Or pepper her with questions. All right, Maria.
She's the nice one from your
She's the
office.
nice one in the
Yeah,
office,
okay.
for sure. I mean, that's, yeah.
Good, come on up.
Indisputable.
Excellent. Good morning.
Morning. Thought we'd also give you a break from the dad jokes that Kate gives. Move this meeting along a little bit.
Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I put the survey together and we tried to shape the questions so that it goes, or that it covers different target groups who use the ramp. It'll ask questions for hourly users, monthly users. It also asks specific questions if you're an employee who pays for your employers to park there, if you're an employer whose employee pays for you to park. So far, we've gotten 17 responses. We put the link to the survey out in an email to our members. We've also put it up on our website. I know Jeremy's going to put signs in the parking ramp encouraging people to do the survey. And it'll be up until Friday, April 26th.
Questions of Maria? Has everybody seen the survey, or at least received the link to it in your email? Should have. Hopefully, everybody has seen that and has completed it. So it'll be open for replies until next Friday,
It'll be 2 weeks from
2 weeks, the 26th.
yep,
you
the
said.
26th.
Okay. Anything surprising so far? Anything shocking?
Nope, we do have a varied response to it. I mean, obviously, people are less enthusiastic about paying for it rather than just using it. But once we get more responses, I can give you guys more of like a general idea of what people are thinking.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Maria. If there's no questions, thank you. Appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, Jeremy.
Chairman, Authority Board members, just a huge thank you to the Downtowners, to Kate and Maria for putting that together. Very helpful to management, very much appreciated. And our intent then is that with the, to back up here, we do have it on our Parking Authority website as well. I'll send that link out to the Authority Board members, and then we have the signs up at the entrance and exits to the ramps, and we'll have that, excuse me, we'll have that data collected and be able to distribute to the board for discussion at the next May meeting.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy. Any questions or suggestions for Jeremy on that topic? Nothing? We'll move on to other business. It's a very light agenda this morning. Anyone have any other business? Commissioner, anything out in digital land? You wanna
No,
rush?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Sorry about the late.
Oh, that's all right.
Going.
No worries. It's a pretty light agenda. Jake, did you have something?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to talk briefly about the how-to video. I spoke with the Empower ED folks, and I think we have the video where we want it, the one that Kate helped do the voiceover for. So I would say we're ready to deploy that. I can send that out to Jeremy wherever we feel appropriate to post that. I'd say it's ready to go.
Okay, good. Let's get it rolled out. I can report that last week I met with Kate and other members of the Downtown Council, the Leadership Council for the Downtown Business Association, and was invited to talk on parking authority matters, primarily discussion around potential new ramps and the need for more off-street parking in downtown Bismarck, specifically along the Rosser corridor. I volunteered or was volunteered to continue to hopefully have discussions with property owners of vacant lots along that corridor, including the folks over at Burley County, about a possible future ramp site that's been identified for some time. And we've had fits and starts and stop and go and changes in personnel. So we're going to do that. And I'm hoping by our next meeting, I'll at least have had a chance to sit down and meet with one or more of the commissioners that have that portfolio and see if we can kind of dust off those plans and spend Jeremy's $2 million on a new structure. So any questions on that topic? And it's been around for a long time, but Kate?
And Jim, thanks for coming to our meeting. One of the reasons we wanted you to come talk about it is because we had a property owner kind of in the north of Rosser area want to create a surface parking lot because they feel that there's not enough space up there for them. And I know there's some other users that are starting to kind of feel a pinch again, which is a good problem for us to have. But what we don't want is to lose developable land that will bring in actual tax dollars with the structure for parking, for surface parking, if we can help it. So I feel like people are starting to talk about it again. The time's probably right to jump, just because we're hearing it from a few folks that there is a need for more surface parking or ramp parking lots north of that, north or along the Rosser corridor, maybe a little bit more towards the east end. Yeah. So.
Questions of Kate? Anyway, while we've got her? Is there a report from the downtowners?
Yeah, I was just going to mention, as you've seen the budget in, or I'm sure Kyle's seen, the budget in is coming down, which is good. They're going to redraw those plans because they were potentially going to keep part of the building. They've decided not to keep part of the building, so they'll come back to design review and new site plan things. So that'll be a really big change in that corner. I think a positive change. There's also a couple things happening on that full block. The Yim Siam building has a new tenant. There'll also be another. There's sort of three little houses right there along that. I think it's First Street. There's a barber shop. There's a house in the middle that will have a new use, and then Yim Siam will have a new tenant. So the whole block is actually looking pretty nice, which is great.
Coming
So,
along. Can you say who the tenant is for the MSIM building?
it is another restaurant.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
A delicious restaurant that we don't have one of downtown currently.
Good. Okay.
It will be takeout only as well. So same as Yim Siam was, no inside seating. The other thing is that middle house, they're also looking for a little bit of parking. And there's the GSA federal lot that's to the west of that. So I think they've approached them about some parking over there. But generally we've seen, and I don't know if Kyle's seen it, but there's been a little bit of an uptick, I think, in spaces being leased, spaces being sold. So even though interest rates haven't really changed too much, there does seem to be a kind of a loosening a little bit in what we're seeing downtown, I guess. Interest. The Rainmaker building is sold, which was on 5th Street. There'll be a retail tenant in the main floor. The owner has a law office, is in the kind of the lower level, and there's 4 apartment units up top. First Western Bank and Trust building, they've got their whole floor leased out now. That's been for lease for a while, which a big office user, which is great. So just seeing a lot of little things like that come in. The Prince, I think, has got some stuff going on. I don't know what I can say and what I can't, Kyle. Meisner building looks like there's interest and movement there. So all I think pretty positive for the most part.
Hearing anything on the Borrowed Bucks building?
Not really.
Seems to have gone
They
quiet.
they did sell off the license that was attached with that to a gas station that does off sale on South Washington Street. So I think it was under Super Pumper, but it's called something else, like on the go or on the run. Yep. So I haven't heard too much on that one since that license has been transferred out.
Okay.
Kyle, maybe you could tell us what you're feeling in the market in general, if I'm on base, off base.
Yeah, so obviously we have seen a little bit of an uptick in the overall market with tenant space being looked at, and obviously some occupied. There's a new tenant in the corner of the Prince building. And so I would say in general, showings are up. I think activity base in the market is better than we've seen it in some time. You know, obviously I think one of the things that's difficult that we're running into most often now is the transition of new tenants coming in and building codes, a lot of things with sprinkler systems and occupancy, and going through that process and trying to get answers as quickly as possible. I've definitely seen some new individuals in our marketplace that are not from the general area. And with that, obviously, we're seeing more of that diversity and types of businesses that are wanting to basically be able to be in that. So the fill rates there's still plenty of space out there. We're not in a situation where the demand outweighs the supply, but at least from perspective of going into this spring market, our key checks going out and the overall market has seen at least a lot more activity.
Any activity on the parkade that you want, or you, Jeremy, want to address?
Yeah, I can address that. So, you know, I think the struggling bug on that obviously is you don't really have a storefront presence there. It's an internal type space. We have shown it a couple times. I think it's just difficult to get a lot of identity out of that when people are looking. And once again, this food side of things, where people are looking for food, they're looking for either buildings that have existing ventilation, hooding, that kind of stuff, and goes back into that code perspective. Obviously, it doesn't lay itself out really ideally for office. It's just kind of a shell. So it's been a challenge in that regard, but we have had at least some showings on it and at least some general interest in that regards. But I would say the type of that inventory that's in, you know, that particular building site would be better absorbed by one of the current tenants that are in there, an expansion. But at least it's getting some looks.
Thank you for that update. Any other business? Any questions? Jeremy, anything over there? If there's no further business and no objection, we will stand adjourned until our next meeting on May 9th. Thank you, everybody.